Okay, we'll study the neoclassical approach that talks about behavioral approach. We'll read it. Neoclassical approach was evolved for many years because it was found that classical approach did not achieve complete production efficiency and workplace harmony. I will tell you some limitations. Managers will encounter difficulties and frustration because people did not always follow the predicted or rational patterns of behavior. It talks about the human part, the behavioral part. Thus, there was increased interest in helping managers deal more effectively with the people side of their organization. The basic feature of neoclassical approach are the business organization is a social system. These are the features. These points what given. These are the features of neoclassical. The business organization is a social system. Human factors is the most important element in the social system and modification over classical theories. It reveals the importance of social and psychological factors in determining workers' productivity and satisfaction. The behavioral of an individual is dominated by the informal group of being member. The aim of the management is to develop social and leadership skills in addition to technical skill. It must be done for the welfare of the worker. Moral and productivity go hands to hand. Tamani, people system or factory system. The people issues and productivity issues. They are go to hand, side by side in an organization. You cannot only concentrate on productivity where people are not well. You cannot concentrate only people where productivity is not there. So both are equally important for the organization, both people and factory and plant. People and plant, let's say. So these are the features of neoclassical approach. The classical approach talks about only productivity. Neoclassical approach balances the both. The key difference between classical and neoclassical theory is that the classical theory only consider physical and economic need to satisfy an employee, whereas the neoclassical theory not only consider physical and economic needs but also consider the needs like job satisfaction and career development. So neoclassical approach mainly talks about the people issue. I was telling in people issue you have job satisfaction, their facility, where they are working, how they are working, their environment, their health, and their skill, training, career growth. All these things we have to think. How much they are happy or not, how much they are getting the salary, what is the bonus, what is the insurance. So you have to think a lot, think so many things to make the people happy. Because ultimately they are working for your organization. They are helping you to increase your productivity, to increase the profitability of the plant. So this is the main difference between classical and neoclassical approach. There is another behavioral process, one behavior process according to this approach SR model. What is SR model? Stimulus and response. Stimulus and response. SR. You must have listened one approach, one term, action and reaction. Similarly, whatever you do, the environment, it is impacting on the production, on the plant, on the product. According to this approach, behavior is determined by the stimulus, or in other words, the external environment forces determines the behavior of the person. For example, suppose tama plant को आसिल काम करिया पे आसीजा तुम गोटे भल एनवायरनमेंट अच्छी तुमको गोटे भल जने ग्रीट कला तमर गोटे भल न्यूज देला you will be happy and motivated on that day. You will be working very nicely. But you are, in other words, in other way, you are not happy. Someone scolded you, you are angry. So your days will not pass properly. Your productivity will load on that day when you are angry. તમે કામ କରିବାକୁ ଆସିଛ ତମକୁ ଜଣେ ଭଲ କି ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ କରି ଚା କପେ ଦେଲା ଭଲ କି ତମକୁ ଗ୍ରିଟ କଲା ଭଲ ନ୍ୟୁଜ ଟେ ଦେଲା then you will be happy, you are working so nice, ତମକୁ ଭଲ productivity ମିଳିବ ସେଦିନ ଭଲ କାମ କରିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହବ କିନ୍ତୁ ତମେ ଅଫିସ କୁ ଆସିଲ ତମକୁ ଆସିବା ବାଟରେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଆକ୍ସିଡେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ମନ ଖରାପ ହେଇଗଲା ତମେ କାହା ସହିତ ଗୋଟେ ଝଗଡା କଲ କିମ୍ବା ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ଖରାପ ନ୍ୟୁଜ ମିଳିଲା ତମର ସେ ଦିନଟା ଖରାପ ହେଇଗଲା ତମେ ଆଉ ତମର ଆଉ ମନର କାମରେ ମନ ଦବନି. So external environment is impacting the person's behavior. There is a direct relation between stimulus and response. That is why the process is called SR process. So this process is nothing but that what I gave the example. Stimulus and response. There is a direct relation between stimulus. Whatever the environment, whatever the culture you have in the organization, it has impact on the person's response, the person's attitude, and it has productivity response. That is what the SR model says. If your environment has too much dirty, is too much hot, too much cold, that is also going to impact the person's behavior. If the person is if the environment is cool, the person is cool. If the environment is hot, the person is hot, will not work properly. If the environment is clean, not dirty, so you will have a fresh mind, your state of mind will be good. So you will concentrate more on work. That is what written according to this approach. Behavior is determined by the stimulus, or in other words, the external environment forces determine the behavior of a person at any given moment. So that means whatever you are behaving, it's impacted by the surrounded by the environment available in the organization. So this is directly related to the environment given by the organization. The main difference between classical and neoclassical approach is the behavioral part, what the people behave in the organization, in the work. Then we'll study the modern approach, which will concentrate additionally on the manager. The first thing, the classical approach is actually concentrating on the profits and production of the organization. The second thing, neoclassical approach is concentrating on in first approach, the drawbacks is not concentrating on the people. The second approach, it is giving the importance on the people issue. That means it is balancing between production and the people. The third, the modern approach is balancing people, production, and also the managers, the supervisor who are working, who are responsible to conduct the work. So it's a balancing all the requirement of the organization. We'll read that in the next class. Till then, you studied this. I'll send this up to this slide SR model. You study it and let me know if I have any question. From the next class, we'll understand from the modern approach and what are the different theory in modern approach. Thank you.